Just watch the show over.
Oh.
Guys ready to start this committee meeting?
We've been dual credits with my high schools. Gas and college area.
Workforce development. Yeah, who, do we have a leader on this
Good, Joe's
committee?
here too. We have an ARPA committee meeting,
Yeah.
so at 6:30. So
Alright, so it's
are we
time
ready?
to
On the roll.
get the hammer.
Okay, Joe, do you want to speak? Our ARPA committee meeting has started.
Okay.
Do you want to speak?
With the funds that was allocated for the EMA vehicle and tornado siren, we got the vehicle purchase and there was roughly 740, I believe, remaining. And then with the tornado siren, the siren alone come in under as well. And then to add the solar onto it, put the siren over by 500 and some change. I don't know the exact numbers, 520, 550,
585.
585. So I was needing to know if we could reallocate the remaining funds that was there from the vehicle for the siren.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
And I contacted South Central Regional Planning, and we just have to do a resolution, which I have in the packet.
Yeah.
And there's copies of his global bills in there.
So we'll still have a little left over.
So it'll still be just a little bit left over between the two, yes.
So another thing that we have tonight is to discuss and take action on the carpet for the courthouse. And we've already obligated and expended $50,000 for that. But I had asked Brian, and he said it may not hurt to make a motion to get the ball moving on that tonight. So somebody over there needs to figure out what they want. The judge or Rhonda or all of them together, you know, find some carpet, get some bids.
So do you want us to pursue that, ask them that?
Well, I have a motion on the agenda to get started, so.
For tonight's meeting, that's 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay.
To allocate the 50 grand into that.
We've already done the
Mhm.
obligation and the expense. We've already done that paperwork, but Brian said it wouldn't hurt to do a motion to get started for someone to,
Jumpstart.
Yep.
So you got enterprise zone highlighted.
I do, because is anybody going to take control of that? Or do we want to reallocate that 50 for something else?
I know Bryce and Clapp really like the idea.
Just,
Was that to establish a new enterprise zone or the existing one that was here in Toledo? And where were they gonna put it?
It was just to help jumpstart it.
the existing is Clark County that we are
Okay.
in with them, with their enterprise zone for the eastern side over there.
Okay, that one where the solar's going?
So I didn't know, I thought that'd be something you guys should think about on that.
So we don't need to take any action on that at this time?
No, but I just wanted to let you know that it's there. Are we gonna go proceed? Is somebody interested in taking the reins on that? Since the two that were interested aren't on the board anymore. That's just something. for you
Or
guys.
possibly use it for something else.
And if you want to, then we can make a resolution then for next month to, you know, never mind, I don't know what we'll say. If you got any ideas on what we want to use it for. That's all I have. Jenny, you had something. Dick, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
If there was any money left, I had talked to Todd and Kyle about possibly getting some 911 signs for the townships. And Kyle had me do a poll, so how much it would cost, so I came up with that. If you guys are interested in looking at it, I made copies. If not, that's fine too.
How did you, distinguish, like, how much per township, or how did you do how'd you go around with the numbers?
There's a minimum number of signs to make an order.
Oh, okay.
And it got so expensive that I put in for the minimum for each township.
How much was that?
Total for all are gonna be like 24,000 or something. The minimum of 25 per order.
I remember when the townships first got the grant, and each township was probably a lot more than that at the time.
Yeah, they
replaced
could use more
every
than that.
post
But
and sign.
it was getting so expensive that I thought, there's no sense to even present it,
Yeah.
At least I didn't think so. Maybe I'm wrong.
So you said how much now, that per township
No, that's total.
total?
It was about 3,000 per township.
So I think remember, just off memory, which is to be way off, but I think the Spring Point was like 30-some thousand back when they did it years ago.
Got to replace them all. This was just, trying to get started replacing the ones that are faded and, missing and damaged. Like I said, that's just totally up to you guys. I mentioned it. I just went ahead and followed up. And
What about, the county purchasing a, reflector tester? 'Cause I know you're supposed to be able to check reflectivity, right? Or it's either that or age. There's no reason to replace a sign just because of age if it's still,
if it's still working.
yeah. I don't know what your ideas are on that.
I mean, that'd be fine. We just have to go out and,
Yeah, have somebody take the time to do that.
yeah, and we could do that, But some of them are obvious, especially like down here at 2,400, it goes up in Union, township, what's that little Union Center Road?
Mhm.
That went off at 40, you can't see it in the daytime, so I know you can't see it at night. And the 911, Janet's not here, but the 911 committee is always after me and I'm gonna replace ours, But just when I looked
Were they
into it, I
replaced
couldn't-
back with the high reflectivity, or were they the old stop signs that you're looking at?
It's just 911 signs that I was talking about.
Oh, just one.
That reflector you're talking about would work on stop signs and everything.
I thought you were talking about just 911 for township.
Yes,
I was thinking stop signs and everything else.
no, just the 911 signs. Just because I'm not, when Ben got a grant, to do them, that's how he did them. And then looking into it, I can't expend the county funds in township roads, as you probably do. Like I said, we can not do it. I just mentioned it.
You said it's 26,000
It's almost 25, 24 or something.
Well, it is important to have 911 signs out there for people to be able to find
You send
locations.
that one to bed. Yeah. But like I said, that's up to you guys.
These copies? I see how you got it.
Might have stick the numbers from our last order in the spring, they may have went up, I don't know.
That's what I thought. Um, 911 can't purchase that stuff anymore, can they?
Only for a new road is what I was figuring out.
And
When I
I
was
don't know
researching.
if new legislation that's something that 911 service fund is allowed to do.
Because I know they used to help out quite a bit in the past, but
I think Tony checked into it and said you guys couldn't do it, except for a new road.
They are working on that legislation that's supposed to be coming down to.
Sorry, the township's putting these up now too, or just strictly the highway department?
Well, we can negotiate that. Because I'm sure nobody's gonna follow me around and check that. But it'd be easy to see kind of where they went. I intended on dropping them off in the, the township and then, but we wouldn't have to do it that way.
Boyd's gonna have to walk the tightrope tonight.
Yeah, I'm not in the chair. Shall I get permission?
She's got a straight shot from back there.
I think Jenny had something too to talk about for ARPA.
And it's not a paper folder. We need a new machine. We need a new printing machine. Our printing machine's 10 years old, and they stopped, as of this month, making parts and servicing it. We were gonna just hop along, hopefully, until new budget. And when we did budget, put it in the budget for it. The new printer, which is exactly like what we have, it's $32.60, $3,260.05. Is what the new machine costs if you buy it outright. You can lease it. They're leasing it. You're gonna spend $868 more.
3,000 what?
$3,260.05.
You're saying leasing it is 4,000?
Leasing it is $68.81 a month, which would take it to $4,128, which is a difference of $868.55 if you buy it outright.
But you still do the maintenance deal so that,
Yes, so maintenance is included in that. We do have to pay per click, so basically per print. And the new cost I've negotiated down to be a third of what it is now. But that was with the new machine. Right now we pay it just over 3 cents a click, and it'll be just over a penny. We looked today, when Todd was in, we printed 500,000, 500,000 copies on it in the 10 years that we've had it. That's what we've printed. And if you take that times what we're paying per click now, you could have saved yourself 10 grand on the 15 that you already spent. You could have saved yourself 10 by the new cost of the per click print being just over a penny versus just over 3 cents. With that new agreement comes all the maintenance is included in it. We don't pay for that. We don't pay for any toner. We pay for nothing else with the machine. They come service it when we need it serviced for free, and then they replace our toner. We just place the order, send it in. So it's cheaper per copy, and then like I say, if you buy it outright versus leasing it, you're gonna save yourself
so roughly it pays for itself in 3 years.
I want to do it over the 5 because it's a 5-year lease is what they want you to do, 60 months on the lease. By the time you add how many copies we have done this year, like within a whole year's time, compared to that savings that we'll get with a per click, and then you buy it outright over the 5 years, you're saving, over the 5 years, the machine in its entirety will cost you $600 over that 5 years. That's what it will end up costing with the savings.
Right.
That we're already paying now.
Did you get a quote from?
From Rico, which is our copy people that we have now. The same exact machine, just a newer model, prints faster, holds more RAM. It's just black and white. It's not got anything fancy.
We'll get one we can print money with it.
Well, when they bring in coin, I can just run around and rent the bill. That's what Kenzie's office uses it. I use it when I print tax bills. She uses it when she prints her letters. We do a lot of printing off of it.
What are your guys' thoughts on that enterprise zone? Are you guys,
I definitely need more information on it, but I think that we should pursue it, at least to the extent where we understand it and see what benefits there are for us. That might be something that ties in with the CCDC, since they're Cumberland County Development Corporation Enterprise.
and you're on that board, aren't you?
Yes, so I may want to research it and then bring it up with that group.
It's been a while since I remember, but
Yeah,
Talking
pretty
to
foggy
Lloyd.
on it.
yeah, I'd like to talk to Lloyd, see what,
He was on
His-
fire
yeah.
for it.
yeah, the envision for it for sure.
Didn't Toledo, and maybe they currently still do, have an enterprise zone right here?
I thought they did out there by where they had the Ameren site and all that.
Right.
It
It wasn't? I thought it was for some reason.
I don't have anything in the Texas
Okay.
enterprise zone.
I think Clapp was talking about like for housing, apartment complexes and stuff, what he was.
Yeah, he was all about over there by,
Deidre,
no,
Well, he liked the idea of how Diedrich was doing that.
yes, Vaco over there. Housing stuff for people that work there.
Yeah, Green Up Chamber is making a move toward housing and also doing a, I think they're actually gonna do it. I don't know if Village of Greenup provided the funding for it yet, but they were going to do something in conjunction with the extension office where they form up several, like 5 committees and go through a process deciding what the priorities are. They usually housing is one of them. And one of them is to develop the downtown business area, things like that. Usually childcare comes up, all businesses, housing, things like that. So that may tie into not only the enterprise zone, but also to,
I think Roy was talking about, like it's been a while, but the Diedrich, I think, they created a TIF district.
Mhm.
And that's what he was kind of talking about. I think Greenup as well, over that way.
Because Diedrich probably buys the ground, don't they? And then they turn around and,
It's like a 25-year payout, something like that, before you start seeing your returns.
boy, they have grown
Oh,
leaps and bounds.
they've got it going on.
are they on the second or third iteration of that now?
I don't remember.
Well, 1, 2, and 3, so probably the third
On the
one.
third one, yeah. Yeah, everybody goes over there and models theirs on that.
Yeah.
Very few actually follow through on it. Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into that enterprise zone.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of Roy, like his brain.
And is there any action that we need to take on that photocopier? Or on
Well,
on the
we don't
signs?
have
No.
enough funds.
If we basically we take that out and pay for that.
And I can get one that has a folder in it, but it's more than double what the cost of this one is. And I think we could find a folder a whole lot cheaper than that, so. But I did ask.
Folding them.
Does the highway department fold theirs? Does it have a folder
The folder we talking about,
on the copy machine? You
no,
guys, okay, I knew you had a pretty fancy one over there, but I didn't know what it had.
our lease is about up on that this year. Trying to figure out something.
Maybe we ought to talk about getting a better deal and having 2.
Copy the deal.
Yeah. You probably use the same company.
We got Xerox, now, but that GFI has been hitting me up already, trying to get me to go with them.
But
Probably
who?
you got your quote from.
Mine's Rico, so that's who we have. The whole county's got front with copiers.
Oh, they are?
Xerox has got everybody's.
No, she's got Rico.
Oh, Rico.
Yep, we have Rico, we have Watts, we have Xerox. Yep. I would love to be able to do one whole for the county, but everybody likes their own maintenance person.
Well, you can't look at that.
I know, I know. I'm not saying you can. I was saying that's why, and everybody's lease is all up at different times.
So then we want bids.
On that, no, I can give. Absolutely.
If there's that many different ones, we might as well get competitive
Because the
prices.
same gentleman that hit him up also hit me up. But my other copy that's on a lease is still on a lease. Which is through Rico. I did ask about a trade-in. They don't do trade-ins, but they will haul the one we have away from Rico.
I'm sure they will. Maybe put it on Facebook and marketplace and get rid of it.
You currently own yours, Jenny?
Mhm.
Mike, how are you?
One of them, yeah.
And this lease does.
Okay, so we'll just kind of hold off then, check on the enterprise zone.
Yeah,
Just to clear for the extra on the car, but towards the siren, you're all good with that.
she's got a resolution for that. She
Yeah.
said.
Perfect.
And there's what, a couple $100 left, so.
Yep.
We may be able to add that to the copy.
Yeah.
Rico's always been one.
It's all gonna be digital eventually.
Right. With the mail. You just sent it.
Meeting adjourned?
Think so.
It's collectible percentage on taxes. Okay.
I just saw what you put in, yeah. I'll put in the four. Usually we have 2/3 of it.
What do I do next? Mhm.
Well, I got his and I got.
There's a bit of shit show.
Todd, when you bring it in.
Our neighbor too.
Ready, right? Call me in order. Pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Roll call.
Okay, Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Next, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on May 9th, 2023.
Next motion.
Second.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay, at this time, has anybody got some public comment? Mark
I do.
Cameron?
Yeah.
Mark Cameron.
It's regarding the Invergen, is it Invergen now, or the company that's wanting to run these power lines through
Yeah.
Clean line or whatever.
Clean Line Energy? They're wanting to run these power lines through, the heart of our county. And I see a lot of negativity if it would happen. I think the ground prices, not on just the right-of-way acres, but the entire acreage anyone possesses, will drop greatly, probably more than half, probably more than 400%. And that's just speculation, but it is definitely going to drop. You lose all functionality of the ground once them power lines are, not all, but 85%. If you would bury the lines, you maintain that functionality, and you give away, you will be subject to the right of way, but that is livable, I think, because you can build a house, you can build a pond, you can expand your acreage. Lots of good aspects. Hopefully it doesn't transform to this, and maybe it's shut down before it even gets this far. But I do think it is a great idea that you guys have proposed to bury the line. If it were to, I guess, get to that point. Hopefully it don't. Those are my comments. Hopefully some of you in the room feel the same way I do. And if you would, expand further.
Okay, at this point, we've got an ordinance at the meeting tonight to be voted on, which requires the DC power line to be buried. Christian County has done this. They passed an ordinance to bury their line in their county, it be buried, for several reasons, of course. I always thought it would cost more to bury that line than it would do an overhead line, but the more I think about it, I'm not for sure about that. You bury a line, you do not need all those poles, and also purchasing a right of way would probably be a little bit less expensive, because if it comes on my property, I have all these poles, I would like to be compensated for them. Now, if they bury it in the ground, I only know it's there, I would take a lot less compensation if they go through there, they're buried in the ground. That'd be my opinion. So the cost may still be more, but the maintenance on it would be less. And so I don't know. Not many lines are buried. These Ameren lines are not buried, but that's because they they stop and start every 10, 5, 10, 15, 20 miles, you know, and they have to come out of the ground if they're buried. This line will be in the ground from the state line in Missouri to the state line in Indiana. You wouldn't have to come out for anything, so it would be kind of a simple thing. There's also been talk about they could bury that along the interstate right of way, which might be another possibility. So there are other possibilities. And so we'd like to see them go that route if they could. But that's basically my, I think it'd be a little safer and it would be less maintenance on it. This DC power line, I'm quite sure it runs a lot higher voltage than an AC line. Someone mentioned possibly 10 times higher voltage. I don't know that as a fact, but someone told me that. So not a real safe line out there. So any other comments on this DC burying this line if and when it comes through? Go ahead.
I'd like to say something. So we are private landowners and we are really upset about this happening. The opportunity to bury it would be great. Even better if they could go through existing easements or along railways or interstates or roads. I mean, it's just, this is a private company getting easements across private property. And we are in CRP ground, which if they come through us, the easement can be 150 to 600 feet. That's pretty wide, going right through our property. So that really limits what we can do later on, like he said. Plus, it also is going to affect our cost. Like down the road, if we want to sell our land, that's going to devalue our land. So we hunt out there. It's going to change the lay of the land. Everything's going to change. And we're going to have these existing power lines that are going to affect the landscape. It's very upsetting to know that this is proposed and may happen, and knowing that this is a private company coming in and being able to just take easements across private property, which I think is wrong. So I do hope that you guys consider that and consider the landowners that are going to be affected. Thank you.
Did you get a certified letter in the mail?
Yes.
I mean, the way I understood it when I read it was the state has already given them eminent domain. So I think our only option is to help cure the problem is to bury it, which again, I don't want it going across my property, and it is.
Yeah.
It's
going to affect a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have eminent domain yet. I know there's there's some lawsuits and they've appealed some of the rulings, which I know I'm not exactly sure what they've said for sure, but some of that they're trying to challenge the constitutionality of the law.
Someone in the back there.
I haven't heard it brought up, but these big towers are gonna have a tremendous foundation with a lot of depth. And I still have a very nice saltwater well, and my water veins are not very deep. And I'm sure that someplace, somewhere, them tower foundations are gonna interfere with our well water.
Okay.
Yeah, it could, because one of the meetings, they said they go 30 to 40 foot deep to put the concrete to set that tower on. And I know, depends on which route they take, but the route that's south of my house, we've got a well out in the field, and it's 25 foot deep. You get very close to that and go down there 40 foot. That will be in my agreement that, like right now, I'm not using EJ, but when I do, we got a between $1,500 and $2,000 a month water bill. That if my well gets damaged, somebody's going to pay for that, and which is why I guess if it gets that far, have a good lawyer.
Okay.
And also, spraying fungicide. Airplanes can't get very close to that, and they're 200 feet in the air. I don't know if if that power company or whatever they are, if they're gonna compensate me for my lost yield if I can't spray fungicide out there.
Have a bunch of drones out there flying around.
I don't know if the drones are allowed. I don't know what they can do with a drone or, because that's all regulated by the FAA too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good size power line compared to the Camrons we have now. Someone in the back,
Just from the first round of these power lines, we found out, because my husband's having heart issues, has a defibrillator pacemaker. He was told not to be within a quarter of a mile of that one. So it's just one of those things because of the strength of the DC. And we just want to make sure that folks consider that also. We're talking about a lot of us are getting to that age, or maybe have a situation like that, and have them have that discussion with your cardiologist or whoever does their machine. Please keep that in
I
mind.
thought of that, and that's the case, quarter mile, people driving down the interstate with a pacemaker. Surely they're checked into that. I mean, that's scary.
You're talking a short period of time. We're talking like you don't want to live beside it.
Oh,
I'm
well,
talking about if you have an issue, or if it has a glitch, it could set your defibrillator off.
no.
You set your defibrillator, you're going to, yeah, or keep it from working if you do need it.
No.
So it's, you know, it's such hardware that we kind of get used to, but it's like, you know, life, it's a miracle. So you can't really go around with them too much. I mean, it's like he was told never to use a welder again, or to, you know, so he's got to be careful about what he does electric.
Okay, and then the comments, we will, okay, that's all the comments, then we will move on to the next. Then, is there any guests would like to speak this time?
I have a public comment.
Go ahead, Todd.
At the last meeting, we had several board members vote in a new employee.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask those four board members, none of them asked the question that night where that funding was coming from. So I'd like to ask those four members, which is Jonathan, Mr. Blade, Todd Layton, and Holkenbrick, where is that funding coming from? Did anybody look to see if we even had that funding in the budget?
Well,
And I'm gonna ask Mrs. Blade first.
I don't know.
So we're voting on stuff that we have no clue if we have the funds for.
We should ask that question last time.
Well, I tried to make it quite clear that you weren't just raising 25,000 because that was just to finish the year out, that you're gonna be putting in another 50,000 the following year for the full-time employee.
I remember you mentioned that.
Todd, you had a month since the last meeting. Have you even looked at the budget to see where we were gonna come up with that money?
I have looked at the budget actually, but where we're gonna come up with the money for next year, I don't know. I figure we'd address that at the budget meeting for next year. As we discussed, we did discuss that we would discuss the funding for it at the fiscal year budget
Okay, but
meeting.
we had 25,000 this year. I mean, did anybody even think about looking at the budget on that? Tom?
Brian, did you look at anything that would indicate where the money would be coming from?
Well, he came to us because he knew he didn't have it in his budget. So
Right.
that means it relied on us to come up with the money. And I was wanting to know where you board members thought it was okay to vote for that, not knowing where the money was coming from.
I think it was totally careless on my part and all of us who didn't explore it any further.
I mean, supposed to be pretty conservative Republicans here, and then we got a full Republican board, and you got 4 out of the 6 that voted yes, that had no clue of where the money was coming from.
I know the reason
Disappointing.
I voted for it was because when it comes to drugs getting into hand of any of these children, that's totally something.
We're not
I
even
need
talking
to-
about that. That was $20 an hour, 15 hours a week. I'm talking about the extra secretary staff.
can I address it, Todd?
Sure.
Well, I felt like there was a need for this, Todd.
We're not talking about the drug case, drug situation. We're talking about the secretary, staff.
Well,
So
whenever,
where was the need at
whenever a
that?
deputy in our county arrests someone on drugs, it needs to go to the state's attorney's office to be processed, correct?
I'm not talking about
And if
the
the
$20 an hour, 15 hours a week. I'm talking about the 25,000 for the secretary, which is
That's
gonna
what
be
I said.
50,000 next year.
That's why I said it goes to the state's attorney's office. Him and his secretaries have to process this person. And if they don't have enough help to process this case, then it will get thrown out because it is not done right. And they're lacking on employees in the state's attorney's office. They've not got enough help in there. That's why we need to hire another secretary. I called,
Can I stop you
Jasper
there for a
County.
second?
say what? Go
Can I
ahead.
stop you there for a second? Because my understanding of the whole thing from the get-go is to not go after all of them. You're going after the head of this night, is what Brian's intentions were.
Yeah,
And I could probably put this up because I talked to Ford about it. The idea was I'm going to be managing a full-time, or not a full-time, but a part-time investigator. It's just going to increase our caseload. It's going to increase the amount of time that I'm spending away from my computer, filing charges, looking through discovery, getting the documents in order to handle the caseload now. So if I'm going to be a part of
I would think
this,
it'd be fewer,
that's not.
but why would it not be fewer? If you're going,
We're still going to bust the same.
well, the problem is you said it,
We're still
basically
gonna
everybody's
arrest the
getting,
same amount-
everybody's,
Don't talk over me, I'm talking. We're still gonna arrest the same amount of people. Yeah, ask me a question, I'll answer you, but let me answer. We're still gonna be, the other police officers still gonna be arresting the same amount of people. Now I'm gonna have another person in there working new cases and adding cases. So that's why it's more.
There'd be more work if you had another investigator.
but it should be fewer if you're going after the head of the snake. Am I wrong for thinking that?
No, you're
Yes.
wrong. You're wrong. Totally wrong.
Because we're still gonna be arresting the people that are carrying, that have possession of it. Then we have to work that person. So I mean, it's not like we just let go of those people. We have to work agreements with those people. We have to work those people. We have to wire them. Yeah, it's a lot more work.
So,
And I'm not complaining that the state's attorney's asking for extra help. I'm not going there. The only thing I'm going after is why the board voted for something they had no clue of where the money was coming from. That's my question.
Well, we know where the money's coming from, Todd. Out of our reserves.
But no one even looked to see if we even had the reserves.
Well, I know we've got reserves. I know this county. You know it's got reserves out there, don't you? How much is in reserve?
I'm just asking about the 3 board members that are new. Do they know?
I don't.
I knew of them. I did not know how much was in there.
I knew we had reserves by the way.
So if you don't know how much, it'd be $20 to 100,000 to $1 million.
Danny, do you know about what the reserves are? It's way over $1 million.
That's not the question here, Floyd.
Say what?
That's not the question.
Let me ask you this way. Did you know you had reserves to cover this amount?
Hell, yes, I know it.
You need to know the exact number if he knows it's more than enough to cover it.
Floyd probably did know, but I'm just asking the rest of the board members, and I think the answer is question.
Yeah, would have been a good question for last week.
just to follow up on what you said, Brian, your special investigator, will they generate income through their?
No.
So it's only going to help us to investigate and close cases. You know,
Yeah, it would assist to essentially get at the drug dealers rather than just the drug users. What happens now is we get drug users, but there's no investigation as to try to get the drug dealers. That's where I was wanting one of the things I was wanting the investigator to do. That takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy. That's why I was wanting the extra personnel, because that's what I told Floyd. I said, I'm not taking this person on unless I can get us another support staff. This is going to take a lot of my time.
One other comment. I called Jasper County. They have a state's attorney. They have 2 secretaries. We have 1 secretary and 1 very small part-time. Is that correct?
1 day a week.
1 day a week. So basically, we've got 1 secretary. Jasper County has 2 secretaries. I called Clay County. They have a assistant state's attorney and 3 secretaries. I called Clark County. They have an assistant state's attorney and 2 secretaries, I think. So I don't know if they do a lot more business than we do or why they would, but I feel that's a comparable comparison. So our secretaries we're not oversupplied secretaries, in my opinion.
Okay. I mean, we can say things like that all day long. I mean, the treasurer's office years ago had 4 employees, they're down to 2 and have been getting by just fine. But I'm not saying that you do not need them, I'm not saying that, just asking the board members to take a little more time and figure out what they're voting on. And I will admit that I'm mad about the same thing, but I just want to make sure that we all start trying to do our job. That's it.
All right.
Thank you, Floyd.
Okay, next, any guests like to speak at this time? Seeing none? Okay, let's see, let's need to discuss, take action on the ordinance concerning DC power lines. So, we've had discussion on it. Could I get anybody to approve?
Couple things I need to understand here. This is a project formerly known as Greenbelt, is that correct?
Correct.
Greenbelt. And we do not know whether they are technically approved to bring the power lines, the overhead lines through yet. We do not know that to be a fact.
That is right, it's in court
Okay, all right.
right now. They do have,
I thought it did.
They do have
they
approval.
do have the approval,
Right.
yeah, from Commerce.
That they got approval from the Commerce Commission last time, but the court, whenever it went to circuit court, I guess, they ruled against it. Judge.
All right, so it's an appeal or something
Yes.
like that. So they're just working their way up. So that, but it isn't a done deal yet. So we are.
That is correct.
All right, well, that's good news. And, but if it does become a done deal, then we are going to want to try to put it underground. Is that how I understand?
Right, so we need to have this done now.
Right.
Okay, so,
I think they
does
go-
this ordinance have any teeth when this organization comes through to put the power lines up? Are we going to be able to enforce this?
So, yeah, I don't see any reason why we couldn't. It's an ordinance just like any other ordinance that regulates the industry. Other counties have done it, and I haven't seen any challenges, but this is my first foray into the DC power line litigate or DC power line law. So those guys come in. I always tell people the law is like getting a hand of cards in a poker game. You know, I don't know what all the laws are. That guy, whoever their attorney is, if he fights us, he's probably going to know what the cards are, but we'll see when we get there. But there's no downside in passing the ordinance.
Now, when you say that other people, groups, or organizations have done this, are you referring to county boards?
Yes, county.
And has any of that been tested?
I've not seen any tests yet. No.
Nothing has been tested.
So I think they're abiding by them so far. Anyways, but yeah, I did an internet search to see if there was any litigation. I haven't seen any DC power lines sue anybody yet, but it doesn't mean it's making the news either. But
Okay.
There's one
Mr.
thing.
Chairman,
Yes,
I got this letter and I thought it read from them that they were granted the right of eminent domain. But I talked to this Carol Wade with Taylor Law Office and she says they do not have that. If I understood her correctly, they have the right to proceed, but they do not have eminent domain.
okay, I don't know. You might be right, Mike. I'm not sure.
And I talked to her on the phone.
You might be right. I think you might be right. They've got a right to proceed. They've got a right to proceed, and if they don't go nowhere, then they'll come back and go.
But the way their letter they sent out, I'm sure I read in there that they said they were granted the right to eminent, the right of eminent domain, and she said, no, they have not been.
Okay, I don't know.
Well, we know how much it's gonna cost, Todd,
Which,
before we vote on it.
on this,
Mhm.
well, it's not gonna cost us anything as of right now.
No, I know not right now, in the future maybe. I mean, I'm totally against all this.
The only way it would cost us if they sued us and we have a hired, state's attorney by the state to be our lawyer. So I guess it really wouldn't cost us anything other than his time.
I'm talking about like when and if it has to be put underground as opposed to,
That'd be their responsibility. They'd have to pay for that, the company coming through. My question is, there's nothing in here other than having an engineering company oversee it, but I would like to have a certain depth. I know there's probably guidelines of electric lines having to be buried so deep, but I'd like to have something deeper than even that. So let's say if it's state specs is 4 feet, I say a minimum of 5 feet. That way there's no possibility of farm equipment or anybody hitting it.
5 feet is a good number, in my opinion, but I'm not an engineer.
The deeper the better.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. So that's why I think that needs to be in this.
We could put it in no less, whatever the engineer says, but no less than 5 feet.
Yes.
That sounds good.
Unless recommended deeper by the engineer.
Right, that's what I say, no less.
Okay, we put that in this contract.
Before
we vote on it? Okay. So now I need a motion to vote on this amended contract, it says amended ordinance. It says minimum depth of, you said 5 feet, Todd?
Minimal.
Okay. So, any other problem with it? Anybody like to make a motion to this effect?
I'll make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, seconded.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Wolfenberg.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay.
So wait, that would pass that. They haven't started in Illinois yet then?
They haven't started in any state yet.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, because it does cost more to bury, so they may,
It's gonna cost a lot more.
yeah, they may come out swinging.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they'll buy it.
You gotta hope that
Yeah.
holds true.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. I'm sure they will.
A
That's
lot
okay.
more.
That's
But if it
okay.
says we got
That's just
a lawyer director.
Okay. Let's move on. Need a motion to approve the contract agreement with Wiley Mumford American Legion Auxiliary.
And I guess while I've got y'all here, we're still on that topic, is most likely if they sue, what they'll do is they'll consolidate it. And they'll probably have one big shot, state's attorney's office, like Page or somebody like that, that's got a team of attorneys. We'll take the lead on it, and then we'll all sign in, kind of like we did with the Safety Act litigation or something like that. Is my guess how it'll be happen, or how it will happen. But just so you know, it's probably not gonna be us against the giant. It's gonna be a lot of state's attorneys, and perhaps the attorney general against.
I can see a movie made about this.
I'll comment just a little bit. It is gonna be more expensive to run the line through when you bury it. But in the end, I think I will have more gain if they run the power line through, because I will do everything in my power to get money for every acre, as opposed to just the 15% of the right of way that's gonna take up my ground.
It may just force them to use the interstate right away and stuff like that.
In the end, I think it's gonna be easier for them.
Well,
Yeah. Okay, Mark. Okay, we'll wait and see. That's all we can do. We voted on this, and now we just wait and see what happens. All right? Okay, next order of business. We've had this agreement between Cumberland County and the American Legion Auxiliary. You've all had a chance to look at this. This has to do with when they put that veteran memorial on the courthouse square. So it's about the different maintenance requirements and who takes care of what. We discussed at the last meeting. Any questions on it?
I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Really, I need a motion to,
That question on the number 5. And this may be a dumb question. The auxiliary will be responsible for flag replacement to any flag that needs replacement due to weathering or missing flags. Hold on, that's
That's number 4. That's number 4.
The other one is.
Okay.
Number 5.
Respect for all flags. So what type of flags are we talking about?
well,
Candace here.
Tanya, you want to mention what kind of flags we out there?
Oh, we're gonna have a pride flag and,
No, it is the branches, our state flag, POW flag, and American flag.
okay, I'd like to have that worded on there,
Okay?
not just any flag.
Oh, those flags that you mentioned. You like a list of the flags? that-
Yes.
Okay,
Specifically those, the branches. You want each branch listed out or just,
I just don't want all flags on there.
okay,
All military flags.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't know what military flags are gonna be like.
United States military flags.
I don't know if that's gonna change.
Okay, need a motion to that effect.
What will we do? To table it till we see the new one? As
No.
amended?
No, we didn't amend it.
Vote on the amended contract, okay?
And can you read the amendment? Lloyd, what flags did you say now?
The branch, the military branch flags,
Okay.
POW, state, and the American flag.
Okay, good enough?
Yep.
Okay, he wants to make the motion.
I'll make it.
Todd makes the motion,
Second.
second by Todd.
Layton?
I'll be here. Been a long day.
Okay, who we got to?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
Beard?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Falconbridge?
Yes, motion carried.
I will make those changes and get the new one to you.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve the jurisdictional transfer of the Sigel Road. We have a copy of it here. At the last meeting, we had some questions on it. Kyle and you and Todd satisfied with this one?
I talked to IDOT, Kyle had mentioned to me, and they're not interested in changing any wording.
Oh.
So if you guys want to vote no, it's not gonna hurt me one bit. Let them keep it.
I don't know. What part you,
May I ask a question? Where are we transferring at?
the Sigel Black,
IDOT owns it,
What?
Sigel Blacktop belongs to IDOT.
yes,
It doesn't belong to the county?
No,
Since when?
since ever.
Since ever.
But the county maintains it.
Are you gonna continue to have to
So
maintain
what
it?
are you doing? Not do, transfer it to the county?
IDOT's wanting to transfer it to us.
But they still have the right to do, we don't have the county does not have the right to do what
Well,
they want
IDOT
with it.
never did maintain it, did they?
No, they did not. I was told we only have the service rights.
Right.
how does this
That the
benefit,
state's not taking care of it?
Yeah.
how does this benefit the county by making this change?
Really.
oh, it'd be better if it's in the county's name, 'cause every other,
Well, we
Well.
get funding for registration, but not mileage, so it doesn't affect us there.
We're
Financially,
still
what
gonna have to
changes?
maintain it. They're saying we have the surface rights. So, yeah,
So do we get any funding from it at all? Do we have to maintain it? It's gonna cost, but we're not gonna get anything back for.
correct.
How does this change anything for us? Does this change?
Because what started out was Ben had noticed on the GIS site that the two triangle, that flocks curve, that IDOT owned those, when you point to them. So his thought was to get those two triangles transferred to the county, thinking the county owned the rest of the road. So we could use that to stockpile materials when we're out there working. So that was what I was pursuing and sent to IDOT, and they did their investigating, wondering why they owned those triangles to begin with. And they found out that they owned the whole road, and what they told me was, in fact, whoever initiated building the Siegel Road turned in the paperwork wrong and put the right of way in IDOT's name when they bought it using county funds. They mistakenly put it in IDOT's name instead of the county's name. And they were just trying to correct the error to give us it all back. But they wanted, as you can see, they put a bunch of stipulations on us and they give it to us.
they want to table this.
No offense, but I see one name on here that's probably the reason we're not getting paid.
Jim, somebody,
Somebody brother to him.
why don't we table this, guys, to next meeting, okay?
Well, the state in the past has paid the county to transfer state roads to the county, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Really?
So, yeah, if we hold off, maybe someday we may just get paid to take it.
Like I said, I'm
Well,
I'm
get the
fine
right
with,
to do
I'm
what we
fine with
want
the no
with it.
vote, but if you guys
Exactly.
want us to have it.
Because right now we
like that,
don't.
Even if we take it,
Even if we take
if
it.
we take it, we still don't have the right.
No.
The way they've got the wording, and that's why,
That's what I'm saying. Why?
You don't like the wording?
That's why
No.
we're trying to tell
I
them.
can still use that, those triangles. They told me they didn't care. They didn't want to use them. I can still
it's
use
just
that
the
stockpile
visibility,
too.
you know, because you got a township road coming this way, and I know anybody coming down that road, they're looking down that road to see if anybody's coming, and same way coming from Beck's and Walkie's Nursery, they're looking that way to see if anybody's coming. I hate to see somebody pile rock up or dirt up and block that vision.
I don't think that would be the case, but we're trying to get away from farther in Spring Point because they're limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been nice enough to let us use it, and we got some stockpiled there this year. Because it was too wet to get in there to those triangles.
So even if we don't take this, you still can do it.
Mhm. That's why I said the no vote's not gonna hurt, you know, but I don't see where a yes vote's gonna hurt me that bad either, so. whatever
Well, if
you
we
guys-
agree to it, then it's saying that we're okay with their
Language.
stipulations and their language.
That's argument.
And I'm
That's
not
correct.
okay with it.
That's just payroll.
Yeah, I see.
And they're not willing to change anything.
I don't say we table it. I say we just vote no on it and get rid of it. I mean,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Do what?
I just say we vote no on it and just let them, like you said, they'll be paying us, they'll be paying us to take it in
Wait till,
5 years.
that engineer's gone, and then they.
It's not accepted.
I make a motion to
Not accepted.
not accept the proposal.
You've seen this, on page 24, Todd. Stone County not going to accept the jurisdictional transfer of land rights as described above. You want to look at that, or?
Yes, not willing to accept the jurisdictional transfer with the land rights as described above.
And I'll second that.
Okay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. So we'll try that.
I
Maybe
hope
we'll
they have fun,
negotiate some other time.
hope they have fun plowing it.
We will. Okay,
It's their road really now.
They've never maintained it in the past, so I don't have a hard time. I try.
okay, next order of
I wonder
business.
how you can push that issue.
Not plow it once and then let everybody in the neighborhood start calling. Want to know why the road ain't plowed.
Get their cell phone numbers together.
I guarantee you something will happen. You'll have it next year. They'll be buying it, paying you to take it
Can we
next
have
year.
his cell phone number?
Okay, next order of business, ready? Need a resolution assigning mobile home tax sales certificate of purchase 2019-9002. 90002. Okay. Let's do a tax sale, I take it?
Mobile home that the trustee.
Well, basically, right now, it's just dead in the water. We're not collecting anything on it. Trustee owns it, which is the county. So they're transferring it. They have a buyer. Transfer it will now go back on the books to start collecting taxes again, if you approve the transfer.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay. Now I need a motion to reappoint Tom Webb to Southeastern Illinois Economic Development Authority. He's been on that board for several years and he's accepted, going to accept it again.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second by Todd Layton.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes, motion carried. And now I need a motion to appoint Jonathan Kay to the same Southeastern Illinois Economic Development Authority. Been on there a little while, Tom? Or have you not?
No, I'm familiar with it, but I have not served on that
Okay,
committee.
okay, you'll be on there with, okay, we want to try that?
I'll make it.
Absolutely.
Second.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Now I need a motion to approve the resolution to change the intended use of ARPA funds. What that meeting was about before this meeting? Or,
Yes.
okay, so
You might want to explain it.
That was recommended by the committee.
It was recommended by the committee,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Carmen,
it. Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. All right. Discuss and take action on Ameren fence requirements for solar substation. Anybody got any comments on this? Has to do with that solar farm over on the edge of the county by Clark County. Clark County has a big solar farm there, and it comes into Cumberland County, the substation Cumberland County, that, not a lot of acres, but it's in Cumberland County. And we had a solar ordinance requiring something about our fence, and they looked at, they didn't like the fencing requirements we had. So they wanted to change it to make it a little more secure, to put a fence around their building substation, sort of like to protect the equipment from just not being out in the open. You get a comment of this one?
I don't understand why the problem is, I mean, if they're wanting something stricter and they're the company that's wanting it stricter, then let them build their stricter fence. I don't think we need to change our policy. Just because they want something stricter in their guideline.
But are we gonna give them permission to build it? Well, I guess you can, can't you? Our ordinance didn't say they couldn't build a stricter fence, or did it? I haven't read that.
No.
Is it something to do with the footing or something maybe?
Well, they said that we didn't have in ours chain link fence, but I said that it did.
So it says there, fencing, perimeter fencing shall not include barbed wire or woven wire design, and shall use wildlife-friendly fencing standards that include clearance at the bottom and is consistent with public act, whatever. Alternative fencing used is site is incorporating agri-volatics or whatever. According to this ordinance we have, Todd, they cannot put up a woven wire fence or barbed wire that is.
Well, I don't consider a chain link fence woven wire, but maybe they consider that woven wire. A woven wire, I'm thinking like a cattle wire. And then my description for a chain link fence is not a woven fence, a
They're
chain link
specifically
fence.
different fences,
Yeah.
chain link and woven
It
wire.
says they're wildlife friendly. What does that mean? That they can get underneath the fence, go inside there?
I think we had in our policy both ways where, it could be wildlife friendly if the landowner chose to have that type of fence. And then we also had in there that if the landowner chose to go with a tight fence so that, if somebody wanted to graze sheep under solar panels, that they would have an animal type fence.
Okay, well, it says here they want to include clearance at the bottom, but, if they got clearance at the bottom fence, it won't keep people out of that.
But that's their choice. They can build something different.
They can put it built different.
I don't see why they couldn't.
Okay, well.
I don't think we need to change our
What
policy.
does it have to do with us?
I know.
I just don't see what it has to do with us.
I don't
All
even.
right, well, we discussed it. I'll get back in touch with her somehow and call me from Pennsylvania.
So you want to table that since we don't have the rest of the information, or do you
Yeah.
want to vote on it and?
No, I don't want to go on saying we don't know.
No.
Should we table that? I'm gonna table that. Right?
I would leave it.
Let's table that then, so get more clarification, okay? If you need a motion to table that, somebody do that.
I'll move it.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Carmen,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Motion's tabled. Okay. Next, order of business to discuss, take action on the courthouse carpet. We had a discussion at the meeting before this meeting. What did we decide there? How do you present this?
This
Well-
is ARPA money.
So the money's allocated, so it's a question of who's going to contact somebody at the courthouse and who's going to be in charge of the courthouse.
Get bids
Say what?
and get bids.
Oh, and get bids?
Yeah. Get bids
Figure out
on it.
what kind of carpet they want, what
Yeah.
color, and go
I'll talk to the courthouse people and someone over there to get in charge of it. And next building people, we don't want them in charge, so that's kind of their building. We want them to make those decisions.
We did our own building.
So probably Rhonda?
I'm sure Rhonda have a opinion on that.
I'll start with Rhonda Wilson, and between her and the judge or whoever, they will proceed with it, okay?
Yeah.
Ryan, you involved on that? Okay,
So Brian thought we needed a motion, so motion to move forward or?
need a motion to move forward with courthouse carpet. Sound good enough?
Yeah, with the allocated courthouse funding.
Okay, offer money.
Yeah, something like
Okay.
that.
Put that motion down, get there.
Say it again,
Let me
please.
say it again. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kyle, you say it for me.
Just make a motion to approve the allocation for the courthouse carpet funding.
50,000 for the price of it.
Yeah, and do we want to make the requirement that it must go out for bid? Is this the place for that, or is that?
And that would be.
It's over
It'll have to-
30,000.
Okay.
They'll have to get up
So
to it.
we
Don't have to put that.
That's fine.
Don't put the motion.
That's good.
That's a given.
Okay, so I need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Okay, you second it?
Second.
Janet?
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Okay, Bev, you're up next.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the county clerk and tax redemption reports for May of 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
Okay, next, I need a motion to approve the county clerk and tax redemption 6-month reports.
Motion.
Need a second for that. Janet Blade?
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
That is all I have.
Okay, Jenny Maynard, what do you got, Jenny?
Need a motion to approve the treasurer's report for May 2023.
I'll make it.
Second.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the JV report for May 2023.
Is this the big one you gave us like the last time? It's the one from nothing.
This is just the month versus 5 months.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
And then I just have a reminder that first installment of real estate is due July 7th. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, Jenny, thank you. Richard Murray?
I just need a motion to approve the May 2023 highway bills.
$132,998.20.
Make the motion.
Second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Abstain.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
I'd also like Floyd to let you guys know that when I was in the IDOT office last Friday, Greg Palmer is my federal review engineer, and he's on the detour committee. And he informed me that the IDOT detour committee decided to close the road just on the county highway there on the east side of Neoga to do some bridge repairs. So So that's gonna push all the traffic from our road onto Lloyd's.
Okay.
And Todd knows how IDOT compensates for their decisions. 0.
Yeah.
With the current administration they have.
Yeah,
Lloyd can get it done.
keep it back.
Just want to let you guys know it's gonna happen. I don't know exactly when, but if it happens at harvest, it's gonna be a bad deal. But out of my control.
Okay. All right. All right, Sherry Droder.
The first thing I have is requesting a budget amendment number 2, COVID-19 grant, 100,000 into revenue and offset that with 100,000 in COVID expenses. And the Health Works, income is 12,000 and expenses is 12,000 out.
Okay, that's in our budget amendment. Okay, gotcha. You got a motion, anybody will make that motion?
I'll make it.
Kyle Harmon?
Second.
Clayton?
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton.
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
The next item I have is to approve the resignation of Richard Clapp from the Health Board.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
And then the last is to make, approve the reappointment of Dr. Greg Dill and Jim back to the Health Board for a 3-year term.
I got a question. I know who Dr. Greg Hill is, but who is the John back?
Jim Beck is an RN. She lives here in Toledo. Her husband's the mayor of Toledo.
Okay.
How long she been on
John Titus.
board?
This would be,
John
I
Titus.
would believe her second 3-year term.
She's been on quite a while.
appointed, yeah.
She's been on quite a while. Yeah. Mayor, Beck's wife. Okay.
Do we do this in 2 separates or do we do,
You
It's all
board
one.
now?
One word.
make
Okay,
a
okay
motion?
with that.
I'll make the motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Second one.
Sorry.
Kyle.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay.
Yeah.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Sherry. Okay, is Rhonda Wilson here? No. Mackenzie Easton? She's not here, but we need a motion to approve the assessment 6-month report. I'll make a motion.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. That's all from Mackenzie. Steve Marion?
I just need a motion to approve the sheriff's 6-month report.
I'll make it.
Janet made it.
Second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. That all, Steve. All right, Brian Robbins, anything? Okay. Jonathan Bridge is not here. Steve Sherwood is not here. Joe Vogt, anything else, Joe?
I have nothing.
All right, Joe. Michael Martin?
I have nothing.
Okay, Mike. Mark Howard is not here. Mike Black, what's up, Mike?
Good evening, everybody. We're here to also do the contract, sign it for the board, by the board. I met with the Cumberland Animal Service and they signed the contract, and I believe Bev has the original. Okay, the president and the vice president signed it. We're asking you guys to sign it too as well. It increases the amount from $58,000 in taxation to $89,877 for the fiscal year 23 and 24. And so that is one of the procedures, and I'll let you go ahead and make a discussion on that before I come up with the other stuff I have.
Okay. We need a motion on that contract.
Does everybody have a copy of that? I have extras if you need it.
Did it
Yeah,
change,
I've seen
did
it.
you change it from the last time?
What would be the rate?
16 on
It's
area
for the
3.
next year.
Yeah,
And it's still well below,
it's
way below
22,
Toledo or Greenup and Yoga.
it's 22, 16. That's the highest we can get.
That's what you voted on, so that's what we,
That's the highest we can go right now.
This is what we're
21, 21,
collecting
and
this year.
16.
Is anything else changing the contract, Mike?
22.
I gave a copy to you.
Yeah, I looked at it, I didn't see anything, but that doesn't always mean that, you know, sometimes you read something and.
Right.
You never got back with me, so I assumed everything was fine.
Yeah, looked good. Like I said, I didn't see any changes other than the numbers.
They absolutely have to have it. So, yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
To approve. Okay, Blake,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
No.
Beard,
No.
Holcomb.
Yes. Okay, motion passed.
Okay, the additional stuff I have, if I may, they gave me their financial statement for the month of May, and just to report to you, the runs that the Village of Grant did, or the Grant Ambulance did on behalf of Toledo, for the month of May, 7 Medicare, 2 insurance, and 6 Medicaids, for a total of 15 runs. Neoga was reimbursed for their participation, 1 Medicare and 2 public aids, for a total of 3. All right, they're still financially stable, the delivery and services is. Then, yesterday, I made a phone call to Billy. I said, where we at on the certification? And she says, still waiting on IDPH to make a decision. That was 2 months ago, same answer, 2 months ago. And so I said, it's time to take action. So I asked her for a phone number for Service Lincoln, and asked for Dylan Kirchner. He's our contact EMS coordinator for Cumberland County. He wasn't available. I heard he's gonna have a different job. That's fine, but I guess he's still doing it, but you know, he's got other things he's worried about. I talked to a guy named Mike Sawinski. If I pronounced that properly, Todd?
Winky, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, he was tremendous. He was a great help. He jumped right on it and started doing some research, and then he worked on it all day. And in fact, he called me at 6:40 at night from Sarah Bush, still giving me the reports of what happened. So I gotta give him an attaboy for, you know, showing a lot of interest in getting this thing squared away. But I still didn't get the answer from the IDPH. And since that was a larger agency that it was hard to get a hold of. The only number we had had been disconnected. So I decided that now it's time to get a hold of some legislatures. So I, not knowing who the legislatures were, being naive, I Googled it. Well, the first one came up with Mike Moss. Now, I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he's a U.S. representative. Okay, so I talked to Rachel, who was in Effingham, and Rachel's let me know that she was going to send an email immediately to the Illinois State Representative Adam Newberg there in T-Town. Okay.
Adam
Niemer.
And so anyway, sorry. So anyway, as I was discussing about our financial situation, she said, well, I need to hook you up with Marshall Brown in our office because he does a lot of the grants. And so I didn't have a chance to talk to him yesterday, but I did talk to him today. And I explained our situation, that we're kind of unique. We don't have a nursing home. We don't have access to the interstate. And most of our runs are Medicare and Medicaid, as I explained to you just a second ago. And so he says, well, I wonder if we can get something from the USDA. I don't know. But he started rattling off some other things that there's possibly some help with. He says, Mike, let me get back with you. He asked for my email address and my phone number. So there's a good chance that maybe we can get something there done. Okay, but that was as of today. All right. Then 10 minutes later, Rachel from Mike Boss had contacted Adam, and his office called me. And another fine gentleman, Dallas Bear, B-E-A-R.
Yeah, I know him well.
Excellent man. Called me. I bet we talked 3 times already, yesterday and today. Excellent. And he jumped right in and had a lot of things to do. I say he deserves the credit for what the end result was here, and I'm getting ready to tell you. He contacted the Illinois Department of Public Health and asked them just what's going on. Well, the reports went on to sit there and say, we're still waiting on paperwork from blah, blah, blah. And we're finding out that Bill didn't fill out a form or a doctor's office properly form. And so now, erroneously, I get this letter today. All right, and let me read it to you. This came from Adam's office. And it came from the Illinois Department of Public Health. He transferred this letter to me, emailed to me, so it's kind of funny. So we can expound more on this verbally when I return back to the office on Wednesday. But Toledo's application, ironically enough, has been approved today. Correct. Okay. There was a lot of back and forth concerning corrections that were required over the last few weeks to get to this final phase. Toledo's application now resides with the ambulance inspector, who is in charge of for all of Southern Illinois in performing these inspections. He is being made specifically aware to reach out to Toledo for scheduling this inspection. The inspection is scheduled for Thursday, this coming Thursday. All right, so what do we need now? Okay, let me just tell you what we need. All right, now that we got the application approved, now they can do the inspection. All right, the ambulance is now stocked, and Billy told me, with all the first aid equipment that's necessary, other than the medication. So as the certification is done, then we can go up to Secretary of State and get the licenses, and then bring it down to Sarah Bush and get the drugs put in it. And we'll be able to
No,
operate.
Sarah Bush will come with IDPH. They will bring the drugs to us.
All right. So anyway, we're really close now, okay? Yesterday, we weren't close at all. But through the help and Sherry, I meant to sit there and say, because I asked for her help too as well. Why? Because it's the Illinois Department of Public Health. Now, it's a different department, but I still thought she would have a lot to do with it. She sent emails out too, so I want to thank her too. So I'm giving credit to everybody that helped with this, and miraculously we're going to be up and going here in a very short period of time. But I told all these legislatures that the I-70 work has created a tremendous amount of new runs for Greenup and Neoga. Maybe it's not going to affect Toledo, but it would affect us if we need to run for their residents. Because if they're out on 57, if they're out on 70, they have nobody else now to do it, and we can take the excess, hopefully. And so I'm really proud we are so close in order to get this thing done. Any questions?
No. Okay, Mike, thanks for taking charge and making a run. So, all right. Okay, that's much. What else on the agenda? Okay, I need a motion to ratify payment of the manual bills in the amount of $103,843.74.
Motion.
Yeah, seconded.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Slade,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. Can I need a motion to approve payment of invoices in the amount of $73,155.55. I'll make that motion. Janet Blaze.
Motion. Second.
Layton.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. I didn't know, need a motion to approve payroll number 9, the amount of $93,772.86.
Big motion.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. And I need motion to pay payroll number 10, the amount of $97,126.82. Janet Blaze.
Second.
Beard,
Yes.
Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Holcomb.
Yes. All right, now being all on this, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Second.
All right, Blade,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Layton,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Beard, Holcomb.
We adjourn.
So those are just all people that successfully